on today's video, I am going to be discussing the 7 fundamental things that are causing your website to have visitors but not customers, or visitors that do not convert to paying customers. So if that sounds like something that you want to check out and you want clarity on, do stick around. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is X.O.X. I'm the global boss. I create a lot of content that helps you become your best self, have a thriving business, and a thriving relationship with God. If that sounds like something that you are currently working on, do subscribe and don't forget to comment down below. Let me know how's your journey going. How you been? It's been a minute. I missed you so much. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're good. So without rambling too much, let's jump straight into today's video. The first one would have to be your website or your hero page not having a clear proposition. So you want to have a clear proposition on your hero page. So basically your hero page is literally the first thing that a person sees. The website is not communicating the value proposition, then your clients are not going to know what is it that you are offering, who is it being offered to. So basically a clear proposition consists of these 3 questions, actually maybe 4. It consists of: what do you do? Who do you do it for? And why should they choose you? So it's what do you do? Who do you do it for? And why should they choose you? And how does everything benefit them and helps them with whatever it is or whatever need that they have? So basically that would be your value proposition. So if the entire website is not demonstrating those things and it's not communicating those things to your target client or your target audience, you are going to have a difficult time converting visitors into buying customers. I can make an example on what that looks like in terms of a website. So let's say I've created a website and for example, I create websites for small business entrepreneurs, right? And maybe I have like a digital website agency or website development agency, anything along those lines, right? So the fancy way of communicating it based on my brand and based on what I'm trying to portray, let's say, for example, I want to speak to, sound more corporate or whatever. Maybe you might say, innovative digital solutions, right? But then now for the small business owner who just wants a website and who just needs my services, it will not communicate clearly because they wouldn't understand. In a nutshell, you are better off rather saying, we help small business owners generate more leads and sales through professional websites, right? We help small business owners generate more sales and leads using professional website or using websites, whatever. But like that one line, it answers all the question. What is it that I do? Websites. Who am I doing it for? Small business owners. How do they benefit? They are going to get leads. They are going to get customers. They are going to get sales. Now, the second thing, a weak or a missing call to action button, or a missing or a weak call to action. So essentially, what is a call to action? A call to action is what you want your client to do. Once they've made up their mind that they want to work with you, what do you want them to do? In my case, I want them to click and book an appointment or book evaluation call or a discovery call, whatever floats your boat. So, but then if I'm selling something, I want them to purchase whatever it is that I'm selling. But now, your website needs a clear call to action. Click here to book. Book now. Buy now. And that button on your website has to be a different color so that it stands out. So that even if I didn't read the whole thing, but I know where to go if I actually want to purchase. I know where to go if I want to book. So usually in most cases, there's too many buttons or there's never really a clear call to action. So now you need to make sure that you don't hide your contact information. You have a clear step-by-step what to do, where to go. And you also have a clear call to action button, and make sure that it is a different color so that it stands out and the person can actually see it, and preferably if it's repeated in all the sections of your website, so that every time I'm done reading it, like for example, if I'm going to be reading a section a section about testimonials. I want to make sure that as soon as I'm done and I'm convinced with this testimonial, I could easily click on buy now, or I could easily click on book now. Do you get? So you want to make sure that your website has all of those aspects. Lack of trust and credibility. So basically, trust and credibility is social proof. Why should I be the person to help you? Like, for example, when it comes to skincare, you would see they would put things like dermatology tested or whatever the case is, right? So now on your website, you want to include such things. If you've won awards, include that. If you've worked with certain company that works, like say for example, again based on my example as a website developer, maybe I can slap in there my certificates to say I know JavaScript, I know CSS, I know whatever that you know when you want to develop a website. You know what I mean? Or you could put in your testimonials, you could put in your reviews, you could put in before and after results, right? So that when I see it, I already know that, oh, okay, so this person did XYZ and I can, see the credibility. And in that case, marketing becomes way easier and it's more convincing, because when it comes to clients wanting to buy, they need to feel the trust. They need to trust you. They need to be able to see that, oh, actually, the said individual is about what they say they're about. And then another aspect that is making your website not to convert is your website focuses more on the business than it focuses on the client or the customer. So what that means is you are telling us about the history of your business. You are telling us about the mission statement. You are telling us about the vision of the business. No one cares. I'm sorry, I'm holding your hand. I'm holding your hand as I say this. Because, first of all, it's usually paragraphs. And these days, our attention span is literally of a 5-year-old. No one has time to read paragraphs. I just want to scan through this thing and actually, get what I'm looking for in whatever it is that I am reading or whatever the case is, right? So same thing. You want to make sure that you don't talk about the history of your business and all of this. Yes, you can create a section, but I don't even really think it's necessary unless it has a very important role to play in making sure it's like social proof or part of, your testimonial and your credibility. But other than that, the mission statements and the whole paragraphs about how you did this and who ran and you caught them, about you, About you section must be literally minimum, and the rest of everything else must be about the client and how you are going to help them, right? And then another aspect that is causing you not to get customers is that you have poor user experience or slow loading site. Or that refers to maybe if your website takes forever to load, or the pictures are not optimized to work on a cell phone or to work on a laptop or to work on a tablet. As a result, when I go to your website, it keeps loading forever, or I'm just in there and I don't know when to find what, or when I click, things don't show up and pop up what it says, blah, 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 right? That will make a customer click out because it's a lot, right? Not me spitting on you, child. I'm spitting. All right. So want to make sure that your website doesn't have broken links. It doesn't have too many pop-ups, because those are the things that are causing clients to just get irritated and actually click out. So you want to make sure that your website is mobile responsive and responsive to different gadgets. And you want to make sure that your page speed is also good. You want to make sure that your images are optimized. Number 6, you have the wrong traffic coming to your website. Show the right website to the right audience, because sometimes there's that disconnect whereby on your social media platforms you're talking about XYZ, but then when they go to the website they can't find whatever it is that you're talking about. Sometimes it's also due to the design. Like, for example, I am a high ticket web designer, for example, and then I'm talking to a low market or a cheap ticket audience. Obviously, when you get to my website and you discover that my website is like 500 USD, you're gonna freak out. You're like, oh hell no, she's not about to rip us off like that. But then now, if I'm talking to the right audience, people will understand. They'll be like, oh, 500 USD, that's nothing. based on the work that she's supposed to do, child, I'm buying. So sometimes it is that disconnect whereby you are talking to the wrong audience or you are attracting the wrong traffic to your website. So make sure that wherever you are advertising, whoever you are talking to, it is the person who is going to be spoken to when they get to your website. You want to have that connection with your audience so that the process of getting to the sales, it's very smooth and there's no friction. So what you have to do that, you need to make sure that you improve your SEO targeting, you refine your advertising campaigns, and you create content that is ideal to the customer that you want to attract to your website, and also clearly communicate and position your brand as it speaks to the customer that you want it to speak to. And then last but not least, you have no lead capture or follow-up a system. So what that means is that you don't have so if someone visits your website, you won't know unless you just look at them as a number, but then there won't be something that you also get from them, such as their contact. So what that looks like, it's you not having their number, it's you not having their email. So basically your website needs to make sure that it collects data for you about your clients, or it captures your clients, so that in case they leave something in the shipping cart, you are able to re-email them, you are able to communicate with them and say, hey, this is what's going on. Also, when you have sales, you are able to communicate with them in case they didn't want to buy the product or whatever it is that you were selling at the time, because maybe they were not financially okay. Then now you are able to email them or contact them, and then you know what I mean. And also just vigorous or regular advertising. It's easier for you to advertise and actually have an email list when new products are dropping or new things are dropping. So you want to have a way to capture your audience or your clients, so that you can be able to sell to them and eventually they can be paying customers. That brings me to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope it was helpful. Comment down below, what do you think usually causes websites not to have sales or not to have converting customers? Thank you so much for watching. Do check out my next video after this one, where I teach you how to actually create a website on Canva. See you next time. Bye.